So I started a juice cleanse a few days ago to detox my body because I know there's toxins in there. I personally put them in there, but the detox is going well. Right now, it is pineapple juice, apple juice, carrot juice, ginger, and cinnamon. It's making me feel really good. Great energy, great mindset, good sleep. Oh, so good. But it really had me reflecting. You know, if I'm putting this much effort into my health and not only taking in things that detox my life, but stopping taking in the toxins actively, well, I started thinking about the other aspects of my life. If you saw my video on the values compass, you'll know that 4 main areas of life and checking in with the fulfillment of life is your spiritual health, your physical health, your financial health, and your relationship health. So then I started thinking about toxicity that I may be complacent with, not only with my physical health, but with my spiritual, physical, and financial health as well. So I was thinking about that, and I realized there was quite a bit of toxicity that I was actually hosting in all areas of my life. And if I'm gonna go to this effort and this discipline and seeking greatness, then why not apply that where I know I can? So it made me think, why do we even choose things that are not in our best interest? Why, if we know that's not good for us? Well, sometimes it's all we know. If we learned it from our parents, we just unconsciously do it, so unconscious habits. Sometimes we feel obligated, especially in relationships. We might feel obligated to stay with a toxic person or keep a toxic friend simply because they've been there, or because it's fun. We like to take in toxins, namely alcohol, because in that short-term moment, it is a blast. But it always takes from your future. It always takes either from that next day or from 10 years down the road, if it's a long-term habit. It takes quite a bit. And most importantly, toxicity. Toxicity defined would be something, person, habit, thought that is not working in your best long-term interest. That's how I would define it, because truly, someone's toxicity could be someone's blessing. And it's just case by case. Now, there's a few things that are by far across the board toxic for everyone. Alcohol being one of those. I know that's not everyone is going to be happy to hear that, but it truly is. It's just a toxin. That's why it makes us feel good, because it throws off our brain just for a little bit. But reflecting on that, okay, we do things because they feel good for the short term. It's like the short-term happiness rather than pursuing long-term fulfillment. The Greeks had a word for the ultimate happiness. The word is eudaimonious. And what it actually translates to is the fulfillment brought about by the pursuit of your absolute potential, is doing what you're best at, doing what you're here for, fulfilling your true innate purpose. And the satisfaction that can bring is far beyond happiness. It is not an end goal. It is a journey that could potentially last a lifetime and bring fulfillment for a lifetime. So that idea that we do things because they feel good in the short term also made me think the quote from Jim Collins' book, Good to Great. Good is the enemy of great. What good things are you keeping in your life? Good people that it's a good person. They helped me in that situation, but they might tear me down, or they're just negative. So thinking about my values compass, I'll break it down like this, at least in my experience, and I'd love to hear your experience of where toxicity sat in these different aspects of your life. My spiritual toxicity existed in the form of fear. Because as I always say, you are either living in fear or you're living in faith. And I personally face a lot of fear, whether in business or in relationships. How often was I hosting fearful thoughts, anxious thoughts, depressed thoughts, rather than faithful thoughts, knowing that so long as I lived in integrity and knew my values and worked towards that, that the greatest outcome was inevitable for me. So that was my spiritual toxicity. My Physical toxicity, well, I kind of addressed that a little bit, but it's truly as simple as, what do you put in your body? The foods, are they good for you? Do they make you feel good? The drinks, alcohol, caffeine, yeah, I drink sometimes too much coffee and indulge in alcohol maybe too often. Why am I hosting those toxic things in my life if I know they're not for my best interest? Relationships. That might be a really hard one to look at, because so many relationships are truly out of obligation. Now, I'm not saying leave your kids on the sidewalk because they're a burden to you, because it truly is overcoming some of those challenges bring out the greatest sides of you. It is under pressure that we get to shine, our diamonds are formed. So it takes a lot of discernment in relationships to realize which ones are encouraging you to violate your own boundaries or values. What relationships are you keeping in your life that aren't actually helping you? They're tearing you down or making you feel less worthy or less loved. And really, looking at your relationship with yourself. Sometimes that's a hard one to even know the conversations that you have in your own mind. I know that when I realized my own relationship with myself was broken and was abused, that was a bit shocking, to be honest, but it's the awareness that we have to move from and to grow from. So, spiritual, relationships, physical, financial. Financial toxicity looks like overspending. It looks like not having an emergency fund for just in case moments. It looks like holding bad debt. It looks like putting your money unconsciously towards things, material things, people, whatever it might be, sending your money in energy in a direction that is not working towards what you want ultimately, what is going to bring eudaimonia, the greatest fulfillment to you. Because I can tell you one thing, and I don't care who I'm talking to, you deserve greatness, especially if you're willing to choose it. But that's the thing about eudaimonia versus happiness. Happiness can come from outside, it can be an external circumstance, but eudaimonia comes from inside. And because of that, it is your choice that determines your fulfillment. So I hope that this helps at least bring some awareness to maybe where you can reduce toxicity, whether it be in your workplace. If you're a business owner and you have one single negative person, there was a study on this I saw recently in a podcast. In a group of people, it took one negative person for a matter of 60 seconds to make the entire group much lower in productivity, in happiness, in fulfillment. It takes one person in your circle to bring you down. It is your choice as the CEO of your life to decide who sits at the board. Who's on your board of directors for your life? Because you deserve the absolute best if you're willing to choose it. And with that, I hope this helps you. Stay enlightened, entrepreneurs.